Here you see the pair working similarly. The work in the water is sharp. See how quickly the blade is covered and the power produced on the end of the spoon. But watch too the smooth continuity of movement forward, how easy and graceful everything is, and how that easy movement forward permits the correct posture to be adopted at the front stop and allows the power to be applied strongly and economically. We can now look at the movement of the individual oarsman in greater detail. And here you see him just finishing the stroke, his hands moving away from the backstop position, hands reaching out, bringing the body over steadily till it's over his knees, and his knees then begin to rise. He continues reaching forward with his arms and his body following, and he arrives smoothly and easily onto that front stop position. Look at that position. He's strong, he's well extended, head up, shins upright, shoulders forward, arms reaching round, his back firm on his thighs, his outside arm through his knees. His blades are now square and wrists flat. He lifts his hands to take the catch, driving with his legs as soon as the blades connected, legs down, back opening, shoulders drawing in one continuous acceleration to the finish. There is again his backstop position, head up, back firm, both arms drawn back, legs down hard, really secure and strong. The outside hand taps down and the inside hand leads as the upper body leads over, so the pelvis rocks over into a strong position. At the half slide forward, body has already reached well over as it needs to be at the catch, and all he has to do now is slide, let the boat run under him and slide, and the outside hand goes round the pin and the body rotates to bring him into the front stop position. Now we can see the action from the outside shoulder side, and same front stop position, looking strong from this side too, shins vertical, head up, well reached over the thighs and through the outside knee, and hold position strong and secure, so that he can ready to take that catch. And you see his hands lift, the blade is covered quickly, the initial drive then comes from the legs, and the back is held firm against that drive, and you can see the drive connected through the back as the oarsman hangs his weight on the oar. The leg drive goes down in one piece, and as the leg drive moves towards completion, the arms and shoulders continue the acceleration of the blade. He sits back and draws in the outside arm and shoulder. The upper body is fixed as the arm draw finishes, and you see he sits tall, the outside elbow, wrist, all in a straight line, parallel with the water. Back firm, head up, in a strong position. He taps the oar down with the outside hand and carries the blade forward, parallel to the water, sustaining the balance of the boat. The pelvis rocks over as the hands lead out, and the rower will feel the weight on his feet and can move forward on the slide with confidence. It's important that the weight of the rower moves continuously and smoothly throughout the recovery to enhance the run of the boat and not cause any unnecessary disturbance. As he approaches the front stop, the outside arm moves inside the knee as the rower rotates around the pin to the front stop position, and he's there ready again to continue the strokes. We now need to consider the separate roles of the two hands. Here we have the outside hand, whose main role is to support the weight of the oar, to determine the height of the handle, both in the power phase and the recovery, and also to act as the main link between the power in the back and legs and the handle of the oar. Here you see it drawing with flat wrists, drawing into the body at the right height to keep the boat level, and at this point its job is to tap the blade down to clear the blade from the water, and then to hold it at a steady height parallel to the water at the correct height, so that when he reaches the front stop, the blade is in the right position to be squared, ready for the entry. Now we can see the two hands working together. The inside hand is mainly concerned with the feathering and squaring of the blade, and here you see at the front stop the wrist flat, blade squared, and the outside hand still loose on the blade, and that outside hand will grip tightly as the blade goes into the water, and both arms now are drawing, wrists flat, and as you draw into the finish, so the inside hand feathers as the outside hand taps the blade down, and the wrist drops on the inside hand, and as the blade moves away, the thumb of the inside hand loosens to allow the wrist to flatten and relax, so that on the way forward the two hands are both loose and relaxed, allowing the upper arms and shoulders to relax as the blade goes forward on the feather. Here is the outside hand that's controlling the height. As it comes on, however, towards the front stop, so the grip on the inside hand firms, and the blade is rolled into the palm of the hand, and the blade is turned onto the square as it comes onto the front stop. Once more, the outside hand takes control, grips the blade as it lifts, and brings the oar into the water. The power phase begins. The wrists are flat. This time the inside wrist is a little bit cocked at this point, but it should be much flatter. Drawing home with the outside hand, taps the blade down again. The inside wrist drops, feathering the blade, begins to move out, loosens its grip, so that the wrist becomes flat again, and the cycle begins once more. Now we can perhaps just look for a moment at what actually happens to the blade. This is stroke's blade, squared, poised, ready for the catch. The height above the water determined primarily by the outside hand, and the outside hand lifts to push the blade into the water to the correct depth. Power applied from the feet, and the opening of the back develops the puddle through to the finish, where the outside hand drops to lift the blade out, and the inside hand turns so that the blade feathers, comes forward with the outside hand controlling the height of that blade above the water, and now the inside hand squares the blade ready for the next catch. Watch now how the blade picks up the water and accelerates the wall of water in front of it right the way through to the finish, building, 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 accelerating, accelerating the boat right to the finish, where the lovely hole behind the spoon allows the clean extraction of the blade. The catch is fundamentally important to the way in which the boat moves, and you will see that the blade enters very quickly, covering very quickly, and the power applied almost immediately from the legs, and the power is developed as the legs, back and arms work in coordination right through to the very finish. And a quiet, easy movement forward, setting the boat up ready for the next power phase. And it locks quickly, covering the blade, the power applied, and it's most important that power is not applied from the stretcher until the blade is covered. And then you can see the way in which the water is building up on the face of the spoon. See how the oar is bending at this point, and the wall of water is there right to the very finish. Nice square extraction, and so the boat moves on. Now we'll see how the pair is achieving the same thing. You'll see, just watch Matthew's blade here, how quickly it's locking into the water, how solidly the puddle's building right from the catch. Being achieved in the same way, hands lift to cover the blade, power applied from the feet, the back opens, and as the drive is completed by the outside shoulder drawing back and the arm drawing in, finishing the acceleration of the blade right to the finish. One solid acceleration, no check, catch to finish. The water building solidly on the spoon all the way. Now we see Steve's blade, absolutely covered at the right depth, solid wall of water building in front of the spoon. Blade covered where he reaches, drawing solid puddle right through to the very finish. So see how accurately he has got the depth of blade there, covering but not too deep. You can see through the very, very clear water, you can just see the tip of the top of the spoon, but it's absolutely solid there in the water. No great splashing or commotion into the catch, despite the power that's being applied. It's most important that this catch is picked up very quickly, and but the power is not applied to the footboard until the blade is covered. If the power is applied too soon, then the boat will check, and you can see this by watching the bow of the boat. You'll see how smoothly this one runs. This can be all important in the race situation. Just watch the bows of these two boats, Canadian 4 in lane 5 and the Chinese in lane 2. See how smoothly the Canadian's boat is running, and see the checks on the bow of the Chinese boat. The Canadians went through to win. With the catch well locked, it is important that the available power is applied in the best way through the stroke. So let us look first at the optimum force time curve to see where we best want to place our power. This diagram shows the power applied through the stroke compared with the angle which the oar makes to a boat. This is an optimum curve, and there is a rapid but smooth build of power from the catch, reaching a single peak when the oar is at about 75 degrees to the boat. That is some 15 degrees before it is at the right angle point. There is then a fall off in power as the blade completes its finishing arc. You can compare this shape with the following diagram, where the work is applied very hard at the catch and then falls off very rapidly. And here the work is so much power is put on early in the stroke where the arc of the blade is inefficient, that the boat speed is not built adequately, and there's not enough power left then to sustain the acceleration through the important mid part of the stroke, and it tails off down to the bottom at its finish, and the boat has received a very hefty jolt at the catch from which it is very difficult to recover. And now we see the alternative, where the power is built too slowly and with every effort made to give the boat a very hard finish, but unfortunately the power is applied too slowly and the boat speed can't be built up enough in that last desperate part of the stroke and in the finishing arc, so that again we have an inefficiency in the way in which the power is being applied. So how is the optimum power curve to be achieved? It is done by good coordination of the main muscle groups, and everything starts from a strong, well-balanced front stop position. Then the blade is covered as the seat arrives on the front stop, and the initial drive comes from the legs with the lower back held firm. The drive is then continued and the back opens as the leg drive is pushed down, and the outside and the whole drive is connected through the back and the shoulders into the handle particularly through the outside arm. And as the legs finish their drive and the back is beginning to reach beyond the vertical, so that the arms and shoulders continue the draw into the body, with the outside hand drawing the blade exactly to the right position, and the body weight is held back and the back firm and tall, while the outside arm and the outside elbow is back behind the body, and the whole forearm is parallel to the water, giving you a firm and strong backstop position. Just watch this once again, and you will see how the muscle groups combine with each other to give the maximum power in the right place through the stroke. The legs thrust down, and the back bins open, the oars at 75 degrees, and as the legs finish, so that the arms and shoulders draw in and continue to accelerate the blade to the finish. It's a beautiful, smooth, coordinated movement, and ensures that the pressure is applied to the oar handle in one continuous draw. And you will see, as that blade passes the optimum point, how well the legs and back are working together to bring the maximum power at the right point. There.